Roughneck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagoner Welding. Wagoner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road.
Natural Life Apothecary is your one-stop shop for natural healing and remedies, offering a full line of organic herbs, oils, teas, CBD, and federally legal Delta products. Visit naturallifetx.com today and save 15% on your entire order with discount code ROUGHNECK. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the race.
Our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Hopefully everybody's hearing me okay here on the stream as we get set to roll here tonight with the James Wagoner Welding Xfinity Series here tonight. As practice has just ended, we're getting ready to go about getting our phooey with it. The qualifying here tonight. Sorry, I brain moment there trying to think of what I was trying to say. As we're watching here, Chris Phillips come out onto the track. He's there with the number 6 machine here tonight at Old Atlanta before we head on to Kansas next week. On board with him as he comes down here into corner number 3 and 4 on his out lap, coming around to get the green flag out here on the front stretch. There you see Barney up there in the flag stand. There goes Phillips. Green flag for Phillips as he comes down here in the corner. Number 1. Got that back end hanging out just a little bit. And you see those grooves in the racetrack here tonight. That can be a little bit of a problem for some of these drivers, as that changing over those grooves can sometimes spell disaster. As we see Jimmy Piler and Rowdy really setting down a great pace already with a 31.976 here early on in qualifying. As we've got about 3 minutes left here in qualifying. Chris Phillips now laying down a 31.420. That's going to overtake that pole position with Jimmy Piler now down into second. Larry Fairman there. Well, I was about to say Larry Fairman third, but Matt Gall overtook third with a 32.050. As we're still watching here, the number 6 of Chris Phillips to see if he can get any faster out here. On that number 6 machine, gets a little loose coming off of 4 down through the tri-oval. And it is going to be a 31.237 for Chris Phillips on his second lap. So great run there by Chris Phillips as we're now watching Rick Baldwin come down through the tri-oval down here into corner number 1. 2.5 minutes. There you see the 78 of Matthew Gall, who finished his run and is sitting 7th currently with a 32.050. Adam Sprinkle there trying to figure out how he's wanting to attack here, as he's got a no time at the moment. Jason Kinney there in 10th with a 32.543. Now we're watching a 13 of Chris Ramsey. As Chris Ramsey's currently sitting with a 32.066 for his time. And he comes across. Ramsey's going to stay with that 32.066 for his time. Here comes Jason Kinney getting that Grinch machine a little sideways. Dirt tracking it here through 3 and 4. Now he comes back there onto the front stretch. Now we see he's already met the back end there. Oh boy, is he loose. I don't know if he's just playing that loose or Jason Kinney really putting it out there. Drifting it on through the corner there. And he comes down the back stretch. Got a minute to go here in qualifying. Kinney with a 32.185 for his qualifying time there in 10th. So it looks like we have everybody qualified except for 3 drivers in the 13-car field here tonight. Now we're ending qualifying. The 66 of Jason Kinney out there just putting on a show right now for the fans up here in standing actually at the moment as they're watching him go around the track here. Now he ended up getting it down into the grass coming through the tri-oval. He's going to try to drift it back around here through 1 and 2 once again. Down the back stretch. There we go. All right. Hopefully everybody's hearing me okay there on stream as we get ready to go here tonight with the James Wagoner Welding Xfinity Series. Our weather for tonight, if we can get it to come up, there we go. Old Atlanta Motor Speedway, by what a lot of folks will call it. As we're here, it is 96 degrees for track temperature, 1.5 mile track length, 82 degrees for a ambient temperature with 42% humidity, partly cloudy, and 2 mile per hour winds here tonight. And now we got the grid coming up here. Starting there on inside row number 1, starting on pole this evening is at number 6 of Chris Phillips. Out to his outside is Jimmy Pyland, and that number 29 machine starting outside pole. Row number 2, starting on the inside, is going to be that number 28 of John Houston. To his outside in 4th is going to be Stephen Shue. In the 3rd row, starting inside, that's going to be Rick Baldwin there with Johnny Hurst to his outside, starting 6th. And row number 4, starting inside, in 7th position, is at 78 of Matthew Gall. In 8th tonight on his outside is going to be Chris Ramsey, and that number 13. In row number 5, it's going to be Larry Fairman on the inside, starting 9th, with Jason Kinney to his outside, starting in 10th. In row number 6, it's going to be Chris Melton there on the inside in that number 49 machine, with Adam Sprinkle to his outside in 12th. Driving at number 77 here this evening. And starting 13th, that's going to be the number 30 machine of James Wagoner. Others might know him better as Doogie. Good evening there, Jeffrey Ledford. He's saying go get him there, foothills. We're coming around to get the green flag here to start tonight's race off. Barney's got it up there in the air. We come out of corner number 4 down that long straightaway here. Green flag waves, and we are green flag racing here at Old Atlanta Motor Speedway. Down here in the corner number 1, side by side they go. The 6 of Phillips trying to beat Pyland, as Pyland is up there on that high side, coming through onto the backstretch. Hanging it out there, and he's already loose, hanging down there onto the bottom of the racetrack. And Pyland's gonna drop back, but at least he saved it, didn't hit nothing. Gave a few drivers a scare, though, I'm sure. As Rick Baldwin now up here in the number 19, fighting for that 4th position's got Hurst on his outside. Looking now right there behind him. There comes Jason Kinney in that number 66 Grinch mobile up through the pack, as he is now up there in the 6th. Getting a little loose there through 1 and 2, right above Matthew Gall. Right off of corner number 4 here tonight. Corner number 2. Down the backstretch here, you're watching Larry Fairman there in the number 99, chasing down Matthew Gall, who is currently there in 7th. Larry Fairman there in 8th now. Come down across. It is Phillips with the lead as it stands right now. John Houston there in 2nd. With Stephen Shue in 3rd. Jason Kinney has 4th, and Johnny Hurst has 5th position. We got battles raging all over the place. The 77 there getting a little loose. That was Adam Sprinkle back there. Now it looks like the 99 of Larry Fairman is going to go to the outside of Matthew Gall to see if he can make anything happen there. A little farther towards the front of the field. Looks like John Houston's going to try to make a run at our leader of Chris Phillips as he comes down there through turns 1 and 2. Off of 2, back down the backstretch. John Houston out there on the outside now as they work down the backstretch. Stephen Shue there in the 00, working fine there in 3rd place with Jason Kinney now back here in 4th. Johnny Hurst back here 5th, but up front, John Houston getting around Chris Phillips to take over that lead. They come back down here into corner number 1 with 5 laps on the board. Jimmy is struggling a little bit here tonight there, Duke, as a first lap out of the gate. He got a loose coming off of corner number 2. And ended up driving it down there onto the apron and then had to catch it. Luckily, he didn't hit nothing, so car's fine. He just lost a lot of momentum and now has to try to catch back up to the pack here at Atlanta, down in corner number 1. Chris Phillips looking to the inside. John Houston's going to stay in that middle lane. They come down here working off of 2. Phillips now brings it back up right behind John Houston as we're on board with Chris Phillips as they work down here into corner number 3. Stephen Shue there in 3rd, slowly catching Phillips. Our gaps are coming across the board there. And keep in mind, all of our wonderful sponsors up there in the top right of your screen. Mag Real Estate, James Wagoner Welding, can't do much without him, as he is the main sponsor and the main reason this league is able to keep going. They work down here off of 3 and 4. Back out onto the front stretch. There's K&R Sim Productions. Us here at Bigger Farm TV. Forgive me, but I haven't been one to be able to read that one yet. I know it's a place to get your CBD and stuff. Speed Zone. Down here in the corner, number 3 to go. John Houston there in front with Chris Phillips there second. Steven Schuth third. Jason Kinney back here in fourth. Johnny Hurst sitting fifth now, as he's got Larry Fairman gaining in on him down here in sixth. So soon might be a battle here for that fifth position. Everybody's kind of getting strung out here. We'll go ahead and get that map up now. They're getting strung out a little bit here as they work there off of 2 down the backstretch. The 99 getting a little loose. Fairman had to catch it as he started to come down the backstretch down here into the corner number 3. Up there against that outside wall. Don't hit it. You don't want to end up there. That's not the place you want to be. As they work down here in the corner number 1 once again after coming across the stripe. Some facts here about Atlanta, if we can get them pulled up here. They come down there through the front stretch. John Houston still leads it as we're watching Larry Fairman here. So the track was originally built in 1990. Sorry, that's the current owner. The current owner, Speedway Motorsports, owns it from 1990 till present. They broke ground on it in 1958. Caution out on the speedway here at lap number 12. Chris Melton going off track. We'll go and see what we can find out for him in. Kenny, oh boy, Kenny getting into the side of Melton here. As they come through the corner. Really close racing. Tough break there for those two drivers. They were really, really close. Unfortunate there. The two of them were just trying to fight for the same piece of real estate, it looked like. That sent the 49 of Chris Melton around down there into the infield. But Jason Kinney don't come away unscathed, that's for sure. There's damage to that 66 machine. Now back here to what we were saying with the track we're running here, with it being old Atlanta. We're running 1.5 mile. It is a quad oval configuration. The turns are 24 degrees with the straights being 5 degrees of banking. Now, everybody knows for the 2022 season and present, they repaved the track and it became 28 degrees with 5 degrees on the straightaway. So a little bit shallower banking here at Old Atlanta than what's at the New Atlanta. Now we got driver taken to the pits. There you see John Houston, Chris Phillips. As we're on board with Chris Phillips, as he comes down, gets into his pit box. There's Rowdy up there on the upside of the track. Working on through here tonight. We'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back here from Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Roughneck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagoner Welding. Wagoner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road.
Natural Life Apothecary is your one-stop shop for natural healing and remedies, offering a full line of organic herbs, oils, teas, CBD, and federally legal Delta products. Visit naturallifetx.com today and save 15% on your entire order with discount code ROUGHNECK. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the race.
All right, we're back here from the Speedway. John Hurst out there in front. Lights are out on that pace machine. We're going to get green flag racing here is in the next lap. As the drivers get lined up there, Steven Shue on the front row along with Johnny Hurst. Johnny Hurst in at number 58 on the outside. Steven Shue down on the inside. Our pole sitter, Chris Phillips, is currently sitting in 6th position in car number 6 there on the outside. James Wagoner up 3 positions from where he started tonight as he is fighting that machine up through the raceway. Always interesting to see what paint schemes come out on that James Wagoner machine. They roll through turn 4 here. We're going to get ready to go back green flag racing. As there you see the pace car pulls off. Green flag will be in the air and we're set to roll once again. Here, oh boy, and it looks like we got Rowdy getting loose down there on the inside once again as the car comes up to speed. 3 wide down here through corner number 1 with Pylan stuck down there on the bottom. There comes John Houston up there in the 28 getting up in the middle lane. Normally a sucker hole, but tonight looks to be doing okay as Rowdy's down there going to fall back in line there between Houston and Gall. Down there below the number 19 of Rick Baldwin is John Houston as he overtakes there. We're going 3 wide off of corner number 4. Baldwin getting right up in there, squeezing it in front of the 99 of Larry Fairman down here into corner number 1 once again as they head down through corner number 1 and 2. Side by side. Or either side by side or 3 wide as we're on board now with John Houston heading down here into corner number 1. Now we're on board here with Larry Fairman as we Rick Baldwin now going down there in the middle lane, trying to work his way up there toward the front. So some 3 wide action, and oh no, we got drivers getting off the wall. Baldwin getting, looks like we got Wagner loose down there on the bottom. He's trying to collect it. As we saw a few drivers get up into that outside wall down through the front stretch. There you see the 77, the 58 of Johnny Hurst seems to be really struggling up here on that outside lane. They work down here through the tri-oval here on lap number 19. Again, we got 100 laps to go for the distance here tonight. 19 laps currently on the board. Jason Kinney back here all on his lonesome back here as he works through turns number 1 and 2. Not sure exactly what happened to him to get him out of sorts back here toward the back as he tries to catch back up to the field. He'd really like to see another caution come out so he could get caught up a little easier. We got all the drivers here. Oh boy, what a move there by Matthew Gall, as he works down through the tri-oval down into corner number 1. He's making some headway now as he gets into that middle lane, coming through corner number 1 and 2 as we're on board here, coming off of corner number 2 out of New Braunfels, Texas. And that number 78 machine. John Houston still out front, looking really good with Phillips there in second. Steven Shue got a battle going on there with Baldwin. Baldwin's trying to overtake and will overtake that 3rd spot from Shue. They're all 2 to 3 wide there on behind them. Matthew Gall there in 6th. Rowdy, we saw, was there in 5th. Adam Sprinkle back here getting company from Johnny Hurst in that number 58 machine. And we've got the 99 there of Larry Fairman out into the outside wall once again. As they work down through here, the number 49 of Chris Melton. You can see all the rubber laid down on the front of that machine, so he's been stuck behind somebody for quite some time. As you can see the specks of rubber there on the front of that machine. He works down the front straight away here down into corner number 1. Side by side they are for as he battles there beside Adam Sprinkle. Chris Melton down there on the bottom side. Here comes James Wagoner now to battle Adam Sprinkle as Wagoner gets around him, coming down here into corner number 3 and 4. And now he sets his sights on the 49 if he can, as Wagner's closing in on the front there. Rowdy doing a great job here tonight as well. Had some problems here and there of a loose race car, but it seems after he gets a couple laps on it, and the tires heated back up, seems that he's doing okay up here, currently running in 5th position, but he's soon to have company there from Stephen Shue in that 00 as they head down here into corner number 3 and 4. The 28 of John Houston way out front, as you see it there on your scoreboard. He is about 3 something seconds out in front of Rick Baldwin, our second place. He's 3.5 seconds out in front of Rick Baldwin there in the number 19. Chris Phillips as they come down the backstretch, heading towards that corner number 3 and 4. John Houston way out front there, as we said, over 3.5 seconds, working closer to 4 seconds as they work down here off of 4, down across the front straightaway, seeing where we got battles taking place here. As everybody's single file right at this moment in time. Johnny Hurst, Adam Sprinkle back here in 10th and 11th. Larry Fairman there in 12th. Jason Kinney trying to hang on to it, and he's loose again back here at the back. And that number 66 machine. I don't know if he was purposely drifting it through qualifying or if he was just trying to find a way to get that car around the track, because he seems awfully loose here tonight. As he's there, drifting it through corner 1 and 2. Coming down the backstretch, going around. That looked to be Chris Phillips down there on the bottom side. He has crashed. We'll take a quick look here at what happened to Phillips on the backstretch coming out of 2. Out of 2, there we see Matthew Gall get there, and he just kind of gives the punt there to the 6. Sends him down there, and he bounces off the inside wall. No caution flag at this moment in time for the 6 being down there on the ends off the racing surfaces and is down there against that inside wall. So no caution flag there for the 6 after getting punted a little bit by Matt Gall, who is currently sitting up here running 5th. As they run down the backstretch here, as we're on board with him. Chris Phillips now on pit lane to try to get some of that damage fixed, so that's going to put him a lap down here. John Houston comes across and makes it lap number 28. As we're on board with Rick Baldwin. And he's got company there from the 49 of Chris Melton. Chris Melton's going to take that second spot away from Baldwin, but no, Baldwin's going to hang on to that bottom side and try to get it rolling. Looks like the 6 of Chris Phillips is back out on track, so he did lose 1 lap, so he's only 1 lap down here as we continue around the racetrack at lap number 29. Down here through the corner, it looks like Baldwin does fall back and ends up losing that second position to Chris Melton. As James Wagoner doing a great job as he is up 9 positions from where he started, and he's up here in 4th. And not to be outdone is that number 49 of Chris Melton, who is also up 9 spots from where he started, and he's currently sitting in 2nd. Matthew Gall sitting here in 5th as he chases down James Wagoner, who is there in 4th place. And whoa, what a hit there from the 13 of Chris Ramsey as he comes off the corner and really slams the outside wall They're coming off of turn number 4 as he works now there through turn 1 and 2, heading down the backstretch. Hopefully he didn't break nothing too seriously, as he definitely did take quite a wallop coming off of corner number 4. Hopefully this time by he can keep it pretty straight as they work down here off of corner number 4. Lap 30 is in the books. Whoa, hang on to it there, Kenny. You got traffic coming behind you. As Kenny drops it down there to the apron, that's going to force the drivers high. As Kenny tries to hang it down low and hang on to it as he drifts it off the corner back up against that outside wall. Looks like Kenny is really hanging it out there, really, really loose for him this evening. As now here comes the 13 of Chris Ramsey around him. As up here towards the front of the race, we're not looking at John Houston as he is way out there, about 5.5 seconds ahead of Rick Baldwin. We're here on board with Chris Melton as he gets down there on the inside. Rick Baldwin overtakes second place. The 49 really hung it out there and ended up losing it. There comes Jason Kinney, losing it there off of corner number 2 once again. Does collect it as they work down here through 3 and 4 once again. John Houston, our leader in that AC Delco 28 machine. As they work down here through the front stretch, Rick Baldwin second. James Wagoner now up to third. As Chris Melton fell back a little bit in the 4th after getting loose there off of 2. Matthew Gall now sitting 5th. Chris Ramsey there in 6th in that number 13 machine here tonight. John Houston out there in front with Rick Baldwin there in 2nd. James Wagner there 3rd with Chris Melton there 4th. Matthew Gall 5th. Those are your top 5 drivers of your 13-car field here tonight. Again, 13 cars is what we had show up here tonight. Rick Baldwin there in 2nd. James Wagner 3rd. Chris Melton there in 4th. Matthew Gall 5th. Still no big battles taking place on the racetrack as we still try to look around and try to find them. As everything seems to be kind of quiet as Rowdy's back here under fire from Stephen Shue. I should say it's the other way around. Stephen Shue's under... Well, no. I'm not sure who's trying to overtake who here, but it's definitely a battle going on there for 8th and 9th as they work here through corner 1 and 2 back out onto the backstretch. Stephen Shue will take that 8th position, piling Rowdy down there in the 9th, but Rowdy's not going to want to be outdone as he works down there onto the bottom side once again. Trying to get the run that he needs. You see that 58 there of Johnny Hurst. He's struggling, it seems like, a little bit with a loose race car himself here at lap number 36. Down through 1 and 2. Houston really putting more distance there between it. Well, no. Take that back. Baldwin has closed in a little bit as it's now down to a 5-second gap instead of 5.5. As they are working down here through off of corner number 1 and 2. We got green flag pit stops going on. Jason Kinney is in the pit road. Larry Fairman also in pit road. As the 77 there of Adam Sprinkle gives way to the leaders. As he comes back up onto the racing surface here at lap number 37. This is going to be interesting to see exactly how the strategy plays out here as laps are winding down here at Old Atlanta Motor Speedway. As we said, we got 24 degrees banking on the turns, 5-degree banking on the straightaways. Whereas when they repaved Atlanta, they made it to where it's a 28 degrees in the corners and kept the 5-degree on the straightaways. Down here through the backstretch into corner number 3, we're watching Adam Sprinkle there. As they roar down here, it is Rick Baldwin there second now. Once again, Chris Melton working his way back up there through. Same with Matthew Gall as he's battling alongside James Wagner. We saw Wagner up there in the 3rd, but it's falling back now, trying to hang on to that 4th spot before Matthew Gall ends up taking it over for dropping him back to 5th. Matthew Gall has fallen back a tiny bit. Now trying to get that run built back up once again for that 70-18 team. Up there sitting in 5th at the moment. Here comes Chris Ramsey coming along. Stephen Shue as well. Johnny Hurst down here in that number 58. There's the 6th of Chris Phillips. He's down there on the inside. He's currently 1 lap down, and that's possibly due to pit stop as James Wagoner now brings it down pit road in that number 30 machine. Here as we start lap number 40, down here through the corner, John Houston coming off of corner number 4. Still 5-second gap between Houston and second place driver Rick Baldwin as they come off of the corner. Wagner still on the pit road. Possibly going to lose a few spots here as he ends up a lap down. He takes this opportunity to pit here at lap number 40. Rick Baldwin up there running that high side. Melton running a little bit lower line. There you see the 99 of Larry Fairman struggling here as he goes laps down. 2 other drivers, not just the leader, as he's trying to fight back past Baldwin and trying to get his lap back the hard way. John Houston there in front, in first, with Rick Baldwin there second, Chris Melton there third. Matthew Gall currently sitting there fourth, with Chris Ramsey there 5th. Stephen Shue there 6th, with Jimmy Pilon Rowdy there in 7th. Johnny Hurst in 8th. James Wagner and Larry Fairman round out your top 10 here tonight. James Wagner, otherwise known as Doogie, is there in the 9th spot. And is your first car 1 lap down. Hang on to it there, Houston. As you come down the backstretch, you got the 77 of Adam Sprinkle on a little bit fresher tires as they come off here. John Houston pitted at lap number 14. So that's going to give him 14 more laps than what the other drivers did. Still have a few drivers that have not pitted, and those are the likes of Stephen Shue. Rowdy hasn't pitted, and Johnny Hurst hasn't pitted by my score sheet anyway. If somebody else knows a better answer to that, I have not seen those 3 drivers come into pit lane as of yet. Chris Melton back up there in the 2nd position. Now dropping Rick Baldwin back there in the 3rd. Matthew Gall there 4th. Chris Ramsey 5th. Stephen Shue there 6th, with Pilon there in 7th, and Johnny Hurst sitting 8th. Wagner and Fairman rounding out your top 10. Lap number 45 on the board. Where does Houston pit? As he's losing time to second place driver Chris Melton. As Melton is getting up here towards the front now, closing that gap little by little each lap. He's now down to a 4 1/4 second lap, or 4 1/4 second gap. They work down here through turns 1 and 2 once again, heading back out onto that backstretch. The 77 of Adam Sprinkle possibly going to get in the way once again here as the 99 of Larry Fairman's coming up on him. And right behind Larry is John Houston as they work down here into corner number 3. Round off of 4 down there through the quad oval. They're heading down into corner number 1. John Houston out there front. Chris Melton there 2nd, with Rick Baldwin there 3rd. Matthew Gall there 4th. Stephen Shue 5th. Chris Ramsey 6th. And you got Rowdy sitting back there in 7th at the moment as he's trying to get around the 6th of Chris Phillips, who's Chris Phillips is trying to stay on a lead lap per se. They come working off of 4. The 77 and 99 of Fairman and Sprinkle come running on by. Here comes Houston now on by. 47 laps in the books here tonight for the James Wagner Welding Xfinity Series. Down here off up corner number 2, back onto the backstretch, heading back on through up here to corner number 3. 48 laps of 100 is what we're currently working on. As they come out of 4 and down back through that quado, it is going to be 48 of 100 complete here. Up of 4, down there across the stripe. As we're watching Chris Melton, see if there's any other excitement on the racetrack. As you see the 58 there, Johnny Hurst. There's Rick Baldwin in at number 19, currently sitting there third. James Wagoner trying to work his way back up there towards the front. As you see him there, right behind Matthew Gall in that 78. Wagner looking to the inside. He's up here. He's going to try to push 2 for 1 here as they come off of corner number 3 and 4 back around to the, onto the front stretch. That quado, as it would be here at Old Atlanta, down there through corner 1 and 2. Baldwin sitting there third. Wagner working his way up there through the pack, trying to get up there to get it, keep on the lead lap. As he is a lap down still to Houston, but he is on the mend here as he got around Melton. As we're over halfway, John Houston down here in the corner number 3, or 1 and 2, sorry, down the backstretch. Lots can happen here as there's still a lot of racing left to go with here at lap number 51 on the board. Heading down here through 3 and 4. James Wagoner Welding Xfinity Series here tonight on the Fligger Farm TV network here on YouTube as we're watching On the Pole Racing here with the Roughneck Racing League. Become Elite. On down through the backstretch, down here in the corner, number 3 and 4. John Houston still off front with Chris Melton second. Rick Baldwin, as we're watching, is sitting here third. Matthew Gall sitting fourth now. Chris Ramsey makes it on the pit lane. That's going to let Wagner come up another spot. As we're curious to know, when is Houston going to come down and make the pit stop? We now got 4 drivers on the lead lap. That slowly dwindles here. Or no, I'm sorry. Wagner's back on the lead lap. I must have missed that. Wagner is back on the lead lap. He got his lap back. He did get around Houston. I missed that. Sorry, folks, for not catching that beforehand. But Wagner back on the lead lap, getting around John Houston. So he is back in the fight for this. As he got his lap back the hard way. Running down here through Old Atlanta. Down there you see the 28 of John Houston out front. Looking like James Wagoner may have the best time. I'm unsure about that. As he's sitting with a 31.74. Our leader, John Houston, his best lap was a 31.75, and I do stand corrected. Jason Kinney did lay down a 31.51. Trying to see if we got any 30s left, or any 30s here, and we do not. So best race lap time being laid down so far by Jason Kinney, and at number 66. He battles down back here at the back. Or no, Kenny decided to call it done. So Kenny is out of this race. Adam Sprinkle back here in 12th. 5 drivers on the lead lap. James Wagoner being the last of them. He's trying to keep ahead. Other drivers down here as they work through 1 and 2. John Houston pitted at lap number 14. Chris Melton pitted at lap number 13. Rick Baldwin, lap 13. Matthew Gall pitted at lap 13. James Wagoner pitted at lap number 39. And we now got Chris Phillips coming back in the pit lane. And he was one lap down already. He's going to end up going 2 laps down and more as the leader comes across the stripe down here into corner number 1. John Houston going to take that over. And we see Baldwin and Gall coming into pit lane for their pit stops here at lap number 58. That's going to leave Chris Melton and John Houston out there to wonder what type of strategy do we run. We're coming down here. Can they make it to lap number 60? And here comes John Houston into the pits now, along with Chris Melton. James Wagoner, will he come in to top off on fuel? No, he will not. He will stay out. So he's going to need one more pit stop to make it to the end, most likely. John Houston and Chris Melton possibly can make it to the end. I'm trying to do some calculating here. Okay, we know they pitted there at lap number 14. So exactly what is the fuel run here? We're going to see if we can figure that out. So we're here on lap number 59. We take that minus the 14 laps they ran. You're looking about between 40 to 45 laps. 40 to 45 laps. Huh. I don't know what I hit to turn that off. Aha, that button. Okay. We won't hit that anymore. So, we're here tonight. We're trying to chase this down here. We got this we got 60 lap. We got lap 60 on the board. When they come across the line, it will be 40 to go. James Wagoner is leading here tonight. And they can make it about 45 laps on a run. 40 to 45 laps on a run. So James Wagoner is going to be a little short on fuel to make it the whole way. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. John Houston can definitely make it. As we saw there, he made it from lap 14 up here to lap 59. So he's going to have to go, he can make it the rest of the way. Now as we head down here through turn 1 and 2, once again back out onto the backstretch. Houston there with Chris Melton there in third. And Wagoner out across the front stretch coming down here into corner number 1. Houston coming out of 4 right now. Down here across the front straightaway. This is going to get interesting here real quick to see who can hold on to where and how as they head down here into corner number 1 once again. For the Roughneck Racing, James Wagoner Welding Xfinity Series here tonight. John Houston did a great job leading many laps. Wagoner right now our biggest mover, up 12 spots. So he's essentially come all the way through the field as he started 13th and is currently sitting up there in front. John Houston back here in second. There you see Chris Melton third. Rick Baldwin fourth. Matthew Gall rounding out your top 5 here tonight. Lap number 63 on the board as they come around corner number 4. Or I'm sorry, corner number 1 and 2. Back out onto the front or back stretch. I am getting turned around here once again. Down here into corner number 3. James Wagoner still your leader. John Houston there in second. I'm trying to find the action here, but there doesn't seem to be really too much. As you can see, all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You can see all 12 car numbers, and the closest one together are these two right here, the 30 and the 99. As Wagoner goes down below the 99 of Larry Perryman, putting him another lap down here. Or putting him a lap down, I guess I should say. They head down there onto the corner number 1. Interesting there. James Wagoner, or Doogie as we should say. Really like that bumper sticker you got there, or that logo there you got on the side of the car. Now we work down here through corner 3 and 4, back on to the front stretch. Wagner's going to make it lap number 66, so 35 laps to go here at Old Atlanta for the James Wagner Welding Xfinity Series here tonight. Now we're watching Chris Melton down here through off up 4, down across the front stretch, down into corner number 1. He tries to dig up there toward the front a little bit, and you can really see the rubber being laid down there on the front of that machine. I'm trying to see who just come out of the pits. That is going to be, I want to say that's the 77 of Adam Sprinkle coming out, and it sure is. That number 77 of Adam Sprinkle. There you see Baldwin up there in front. James Wagner, problems trying to get into the pits. Take a quick look at it here. They're still racing. So Wagner trying to come down here on the pit lane and just locks it up, bounces it off the bottom wall. He might end up, oh man. We'll have to see if he ends up getting an unsafe pit exit or something, but I'm not sure. He works down here through the pit lane and gets it into his pit stall. Tough break there for Wagner, as that's going to really set him back. He sits down there in the pits. John Houston now retakes the lead with Chris Melton there is second. Chris Melton really trying to chase him down with Rick Baldwin there third. Matthew Gall fourth with Stephen Shue in fifth. Coming around across that front stretch. And we're going to be 32 laps to go here for the James Wagner Welding Xfinity Series. And Doogie sitting down there on pit lane. Not the break he wanted. So possibly a black flag that he's currently sitting down there on pit lane. As Houston brings it around and is going to make it lap number 70 here as he crosses the stripe, working off of corner number 4 and down through that quad oval. Larry Fairman sitting there right behind him, just kind of minding his own right now. Chris Melton there in the 49 trying to catch up there to John Houston. He's done so a couple times here tonight, but just unfortunate he's not been able to really put the power down quite like Houston. Fairman gonna give way there to the second place driver of Melton as they work down here into corner number 3. John Houston down here through corner number 3 and 4, back out onto the front stretch. Doogie still sitting there on pit lane, sitting 12th. So Doogie should still feel okay. You know, yes, he's sitting 12th right now, but he's saw the farther he could finish here tonight as Jason Kinney is out of this race. Chris Melton there in second, Rick Baldwin there third, Matthew Gall fourth, Stephen Shue fifth, Jimmy Powell and Rowdy there sixth, Chris Ramsey sitting in seventh, Johnny Hurst and Larry Fairman back on pit lane here as we hit lap number 72 on the board. 29 laps to go. As we go here, John Houston still up front as our leader. Chris Melton there in second. There's our fourth place driver, Matthew Galls. He's got the 77 of Adam Sprinkle there behind him, but that's no threat as Adam Sprinkle is down quite a few laps here tonight. Trying just to get around and get some points under his belt, get some experience underneath as they work there off of 2 back onto the backstretch before heading into corner number 3. We see Stephen Shue now on pit road. And it is now 26 laps to go. Oh, I'm sorry. Nope, not yet. We're working on 25 to go here. We're keeping an eye on that number 28 machine off of corner number 3 and 4. As we're looking at the 78 machine of Matthew Gall working down through into the corner, as he's got the 77 of Adam Sprinkle right there behind him. 26 laps to go. As he come across the stripe, Chris Melton out there in second, trying to really chase down John Houston, who is currently leading the way. Down here through corner number 1 and 2, you got the 49 there. Oh, I'm sorry, no, we got the number 19 of Rick Baldwin. The 13 of Chris Ramsey at jeopardy of going a lap down. They continue to work here tonight. 25 laps to go. Off of corner number 2, back onto the backstretch. It is front to back. You got John Houston up there in first, Chris Melton there second, Rick Baldwin third, Matthew Gall fourth, with Jimmy Palin sitting there in fifth. Those are your top 5 drivers here tonight as they work on down here through the front stretch, down into corner number 1 once again. Side by side, well, nobody's side by side, everybody's single file. As you can tell by the gapping there, as it looks like Melton is slowly gaining on our leader of John Houston as they work down here. Can Melton use Adam Sprinkle as a pick as they come down here into corner number 3 and 4? I'm sorry, not Adam Sprinkle, but the 13 of Chris Ramsey. Can Chris Melton use Chris Ramsey as a pick and get around John Houston and try to hold on to the lead as we are reaching 23 laps to go now as they work down here into corner number 1. That looks like an unsponsored machine there of Chris Melton would very much like to find victory lane here tonight. Head down here through the back stretch down into corner number 3 and 4. Looks like Wagner is going to call it done as they work off of 2 back out onto the backstretch. Larry Fairman, the 6 of Chris Phillips, the 00 of Stephen Shue, and the 29 of Jimmy Palin Rowdy are all kind of bunched together at the moment. Got the 77 and the 78. That's Adam Sprinkle and Matthew Gall running together. The 19 of Rick Baldwin, he's trying to find his way down there to the front, but he unfortunately has had some problems, and he's currently sitting there in third. Biggest mover tonight is this one that we're watching there, the 49 of Chris Melton, as he works underneath Chris Ramsey down here into corner number 1 to try to catch up to John Houston, so he didn't quite get the pick that he was looking for. They work down here off of 2, down here onto the backstretch. There you see, Houston still is out front here with 21 laps to go. Melton trying to chase him down. Twenty laps to go with John Houston still leading it. Chris Melton there in second. Rick Baldwin third. Matthew Gall fourth. Jimmy Palin there in fifth, but ended up falling back to sixth as he is on pit road getting some more fuel. Chris Ramsey moves up to fifth. 4 cars on the lead lap here as laps are winding down. And I think we're going to end up... No, okay, we got... Yeah, they all pitted lap 57 or 58. So they should be okay, depending on their fuel consumption, to make it to the end. Down here in the corner, number 1 they go. Everybody spread out. Look how spread out that track map is. We're here with 18 laps to go. We're looking there of the 49 of Chris Melton as he's chasing down John Houston up there at the front. No change anywhere else, though, as everybody is single filed out. You can see every single number plate on that map. As Hurst has called it a night, he is out. Wagner still sitting in the pits. 17 laps to go here with the James Wagoner Welding Xfinity Series. Down here off of the tri-oval, the 29 there of Jimmy Pilon is going to take it across there. Even though he's lapped down, he's still trying to get his points in order. Sitting here in 7th. Stephen Shue here in 6th with Chris Ramsey there 5th. Sean Houston still leads the race here tonight. Out there in front with 14 laps to go as they work their off of 2 down the backstretch. John Houston out there in front. Chris Melton there 2nd. Rick Baldwin there 3rd. Matthew Gall 4th. Those are your 4 lead lap drivers here tonight. After 69 laps are complete. Oh, I'm sorry, not 69. 79 laps are complete. I think, yeah, no. I can't figure it out in my head right now. But after so many laps complete, it is amazing. Since we've stayed green, green flag pit stops have really spread the field out. 15 laps to go. Chris Melton still trying to chase down John Houston and has got the gap, had the gap down to about a half a second, but now it's gaining a little bit there to about 0.6 of a second. They're trying to get that back down, trying to chase down that Chevrolet of John Houston. Down here off of corner number 4, back onto the front stretch. Melton hangs it out, gonna try to really push through here with 13 laps to go now as they storm down here into corner number 1. John Houston out front with Chris Melton as we're watching there in 2nd, trying to chase down that leader. Nobody else really has any battles going on, so that's kind of why we're sticking with the front of the pack right now. Everybody else has got such a big gap between them and the car behind them. As we said, we got a few drivers a lap down. Ramsey being the first car a lap down there in 5th. Shue a lap down there in 6th. Pilot a lap down in 7th. Fairman 2 laps down in 8th. Phillips 2 laps down in 9th. Sprinkles 3 laps down. 11th is out. That is the likes of John Hurst. Wagner minus 18, and Kenny is out. Now James Wagner has moved himself up into 11th as he is back out on track trying to finish this race. He knows he's not on the lead lap and by nowhere means getting on the lead lap, so he's just out here trying to keep pace, trying to keep the points rolling for that 30 team and the James Wagoner Welding sponsored Chevrolet here tonight. Still four drivers on the lead lap. We got John Houston out there in front. Chris Melton trying to chase him down. The gap has increased now to about a second. And it's 5.5 seconds or 5 3/4 of a second back to Rick Baldwin from Chris Melton. So Chris Melton does have quite a bit of gap between him and the 3rd place driver, Rick Baldwin. As Chris Melton now tries to hang on there, tries to get up there to the bumper of John Houston. 10 laps to go. Going to be 9 laps to go as they come across the stripe. Melton really trying to chase down Houston, but not able to do it here tonight as they storm through 1 and 2 back out onto the backstretch. And here we go. Houston still leads it. Melton there in second. Do they have the fuel to make it? We saw them make a long run here earlier from lap 14 up until lap number 45. Or I'm sorry, no, 59, sorry, 59. Lap number 14, lap 59. And we see all the rubber laid up on the side of that number 49 machine as they work down here through corner number 1 and 2 back onto the backstretch. There we're watching Matthew Gall. He is the last car on the lead lap. Chris Ramsey's the first car a lap down. He's trying to get up there to Rick Baldwin to try to work through this pack a little bit to try to get up there towards the front. Maybe get himself unlapped here. As you see, Stephen Shu also would like to get himself unlapped. 7 laps to go. They work back here through corner 1 and 2 onto the backstretch. Houston and Melton already through the backstretch on down through corner 3 and 4. Back out onto the front stretch. As we see Shu go around Ramsey. So we're still trying to pick up some of the battle going on. As we head down here through the front stretch, Stephen Shu there in 5th with Ramsey there in 6th now as Shu got around him. We only had 1 caution here tonight there, R&R Network. Just 1 caution. So I must say, pretty well raced here at Old Atlanta. I was thinking with it being a looser track, maybe we'd have more. And yes, Lori, you are correct. It is 1 caution. And that was back at lap number 13 or 14. Now we got 5 laps to go here tonight. Heading down here into corner number 3 now. As Houston goes around and gets onto the front stretch, along with Melton, as Melton is trying to close that gap up. Down here through corner number 1 and 2, Melton really starting to dig hard as he comes out of 2 up there on that high side. Can he make it happen here? 4 laps to go. Down here into corner 3 and 4. Who's it going to be? Melton, or is Houston going to be able to hold it off as Melton is coming with a head of steam here in the later parts of the race? Almost seems like Melton wanted to make sure he had enough fuel to go for it. And since he does, he is definitely pushing harder here as they work here through 1 and 2. That outside, that middle groove, they're working well for Melton as they come through here. Melton up 9 spots, trying to put himself up 10 spots and the race win here tonight. As Houston is up there in front in that number 28 machine. 3 laps to go. Time's running out here for Melton to get up there and try to make the pass. We're getting set up here to have a great finish at Old Atlanta as Melton now looks to see if he can get up there and draft a little bit off that number 28 of Houston to pull him in a little closer. Here, 2 laps to go. Down here in the corner number 1. Up there to the high side goes Melton. Houston down there on the low side. Who's going to carry the most momentum off of corner number 2 as they come storming down the backstretch? We are down to about a 0.3 second gap, down to a quarter second gap. Down here heading into corner number 3. 2 laps to go as they head down here through 3 and 4. Melton really trying to push that hard, really trying to get that run off of 4 down here through the front stretch. Down through that quad over down here into corner number 1. Final lap here, final time around Old Atlanta here tonight. As Melton is trying all he can to get up there and battle Houston coming out of turn number 3 and 4, but he's still got to get the backstretch to try to gain some spots here as he lost a little bit of ground there going through 1 and 2. Now he's getting it back down there. He's dropping it once again, but too little, too late there for Melton as he comes there through 3 and 4. And it's going to be Houston there in first. Melton putting up a great job here as they come through the quad oval, pulling off second place here tonight. What a run there for John Houston and Chris Melton. Chris Melton being our biggest mover here tonight. Up 9 spots, so he started 10th and finishes 2nd here tonight. We're going to go ahead and get with the leaders here in just a moment. Like we said, John Houston is our winner. Waiting on our grid to show up here as the drivers come across the finish line. There is our finishing order here for tonight for the Roughneck Racing Become Elite Racing Series here tonight for and tonight's race, the James Wagoner Welding Xfinity Series. John Houston out there winning it in first. Chris Melton there second. Rick Baldwin third. Matthew Gall finishing the night in fourth with Stephen Shue in fifth. Chris Ramsey finishes tonight in sixth with Jimmy Pilot Rowley sitting there seventh. Larry Fairman there eighth with Chris Phillips there ninth. Adam Sprinkle 10th with James Wagner finishing the night in 11th. Johnny Hurst finishing 12th and in 13th. That number 66 machine of Jason Kinney. Now let's see if we can get a hold of the drivers here. Where we got drivers? We need to see if we can find Rick Baldwin. Good evening, Rick. You got me?
Hey, I do. What's up?
Oh, not a whole lot. How's it going for you there tonight?
Oh, going pretty good. I had a pretty lonely race out there.
It seemed like it, since we stayed green, which I'm surprised at. One caution back at lap number 14. We stayed green the rest of the way. It came down to strategy, really.
Oh, yeah. It was extremely hard to drive out there. Very slick and created some huge runs, huge opportunities, and to move through the field. But yeah, it was definitely strategy, getting tires early, and being able to pit with one more stop was key there at the end.
Well, great job finishing here tonight in third, and with it being such a loose racetrack, you guys kind of knew it was going to be a little loose coming into tonight. Were you surprised that we only had one caution?
No, Monday nights have been real clean, and the racing's been fantastic. It was no different here today.
It definitely was a great racing job here tonight. You bring it home in third. Who's your sponsors or shout-outs you'd like to give thanks to for helping you get up there into the top podium?
Huge shout-out to Wagner's Welding, Mr. Wagner, for supporting us and keeping everything going here, and Natural Life Apothecary, San Antonio, Texas. Y'all are awesome. Without our sponsors, we wouldn't be able to have this nice league and broadcast it and all of this. It's don't want to take that for granted. So thanks y'all a whole lot, and all of our admins for putting up all the hard work and dealing with all the penalties and things that go on sometimes in racing. But really appreciate everyone, and our broadcaster here, of course, you. So thanks everybody.
No, it's our pleasure here to broadcast it and bring it to you drivers. And hopefully everybody's enjoying the color changes here to make the league more your own as we get in the... What season is this now?
I don't know. Season 5? I think it's 5? 4?
I think you're right. I think it's season 5.
Yeah. It's my third one, and it's been a blast. A real pleasure.
So it's been a pleasure for me to broadcast them to as well here on Monday nights. You guys definitely put on a show. And what are you looking forward to as we head to Kansas next week?
Kansas is a lot like this, I think. So I'm ready for it, and I'm really fast at Kansas. So I hope to get another podium out there.
Alrighty, well, good luck to you, and enjoy that third place finish here tonight.
Thank you. Take care. Good night.
All right, so that was Rick Baldwin. We're going to see if we have the other. Don't look like it. Does not look like I can get with Chris Melton here tonight. So we'll get with our winner here, John Houston. Good evening, John. How's it going?
Doing good. What about you?
I'm doing pretty well. You guys put on one hell of a show there tonight. You, come down to strategy. You pitted at the caution back at lap 14.
Yeah.
And you made it you made the race on one more stop. Was that did you kind of see that coming that way, or was it just kind of
Well,
fell that way?
I was hoping we would run green, but yes, I pitted to get fuel because I knew if I didn't get fuel, then it was going to be 3 stops, a total of 3 stops. So I got fuel, got me some tires, and apparently I didn't save enough that first run, save enough tire, because they was catching me, and because I was running the middle groove to the maybe the second and a half groove, and at the end of the run they started catching me because I was starting to get tight. So, but this time I just stayed on the bottom. I never did really get tight. I was loose, but never got tight. And I ran out of fuel right there, start finish line.
You cut it close then.
Yeah, it was close. So, Kai was like, he's catching you a little bit, but I don't think he's got enough fuel to make it because he's been going harder than you have. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We're unable to catch up with Melton there. I mean, he was really putting it down there those last couple laps. So I don't know if he was saving and saw that he had enough to maybe try to push it harder and try to get up there, but just unfortunately did not have enough.
Yeah, it was a good race, good run. You were just trying to keep from spinning it out. Because it was I don't know about this setup. It was so loose, but then it was so tight.
Well, you did a great job there. Who's your sponsors and shout outs you want to give here tonight for helping you get the victory here at Old Atlanta?
Well, first of all, I always thank James Wagoner Welding for sponsoring our league. So I want to thank Kai for spotting for me tonight.
It's not baited yet.
And the AC Delco, that's what I got on my car. And thank Pottles for race control for tonight. We didn't hear too much out of her.
Well, you guys didn't really give her too much to talk about.
That's the kind of races I like. Last week was rough on me. I got the drive-through penalty.
Yeah, you never want them.
Huh?
I said you never want them.
Oh no. So, but it was a good race, good clean race.
It's been a very very clean racing here on Monday nights and fun to watch here, and you guys have a great night there. I mean, enjoy that victory.
All right, I will. Where we at next week? What, Phoenix?
No, Kansas.
Oh, yeah, I'll be in the back at Kansas.
I was told Kansas races a little bit like here. Are you sure you won't be up towards the front?
I don't know. Kansas is like Charlotte to me. It's either I'm going to do good or I'm going to be in the wall. It's one of them. It's just one of those tracks.
See, mine, it don't matter the track. It depends more on the day.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we had fun. Good race.
It was a great race here tonight. Great job there pulling the strategy out to really make it there to the end. And we'll see you next week. And you enjoy that victory here tonight.
I will. I'll be thinking about it to win all the way to Kansas because I know I'm not gonna win Kansas. I'm gonna do my best, but that's all I can do.
So you're saying if you win Kansas, you'd be shocked.
I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked if I finish in the top 5 for Kansas. To be honest with you.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you.
All righty. That's John Houston, our winner here tonight. As we get ready to send it off here, I want to thank everybody for coming out, watching the James Wagoner Welding Xfinity Series here this Monday evening. And we're getting with the Old Glory Racing League here this Wednesday for their Cup Series. Or next gen, their next gen series. As we take on the Genesis Aviation Cup Series. And we could move into Halloween Thursday, so I don't know if we got anything special planned here at Fleeger Farm TV or not. We'll have to find that out. And as we move on through the week here. So congrats again to our top 3 drivers of John Houston taking home the win, Chris Melton taking second, and Rick Baldwin bringing home 3rd place here tonight at Old Atlanta, the old configuration as many would call it. It's wonderful that iRacing kept it because it does provide some great racing. And it's a little different than the New Atlanta, as New Atlanta's more, I don't know exactly how to explain the two, but they definitely race different. They can almost feel like 2 different tracks to a driver. So congrats there again. And we can't thank enough for James Wagoner Welding helping to support everything that's going on here. Natural Life for supporting the league as well. And us here at On the Pole from Fleeger Farm TV are happy to put on the show week in and week out. Thank you so much for watching.
Roughneck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagoner Welding. Wagoner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road.
Natural Life Apothecary is your one-stop shop for natural healing and remedies, offering a full line of organic herbs, oils, teas, CBD, and federally legal Delta products. Visit naturallifetx.com today and save 15% on your entire order with discount code ROUGHNECK. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the race.